Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and this video, which is picking up from the last one where we left off with the progress of this event tasks, chain, whatever you want to call it. But first things first, this task is only going to be available till May 26th at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT, and 7 a.m. on the 27th for our time traveling friends down under in Sydney. So you will need to complete this before then in order to get this special reward. Now, all in, I put the time to complete this task between 12 and probably 16 hours, maybe a little bit more. And that's full in-game time. That's not like only raid time. That's just how much time playing it takes. I did it in roughly 2 7-hour streams, but I wasn't pushing really hard to get it done. I also helped some other people out doing the task in those streams, and I lost about an hour and a half to a bug that we'll explain later on so you don't get stuck with it too. But so that's where I kind of get on the lower end, even though it took me 14 hours roughly to do. If you were caught up to this point, which means you have obstacle course done or obstruction destruction done, then you're on the lower, you're more than halfway done. You're probably 4 hours maybe left, 4 or 5 to get it done, assuming you don't die a bunch. Like I said, we're gonna start this video with obstacle course and obstruction destruction, depending on which path you went down. So if you're before that, go check out my previous video. Link will be down in the description. Thumbnail, I'll have the editor put it up here somewhere so you know where to go. It's time-stamped everything so you can find right where you need to be. But that'll get you caught up to here. All right, so first off, we're gonna start off with obstacle course. And I'd like to show you everything, but I can't because I went down the skier path, and if you went down Peacekeeper, you're gonna have different quests, but we'll talk about those. I just can't show you in game because I didn't do them myself. So for obstacle course on the wiki here, obviously, you originally it started off with you had to kill 1 million followers of Peacekeeper, and if you were obstruction destruction, which is the Peacekeeper side, same quest, opposite side of the coin, if you will, it was 1 million followers of skier. We didn't get anywhere near to that. But regardless, BSG Sunday morning or Sunday night, Monday morning, they progressed this task for everybody. If you'd already had kills, you moved on. If you hadn't got here yet or you hadn't done the kills, you have to just kill 1 to get this to move forward. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that you don't always get this progressed by killing, for me, for scavs that had a blueberry vest on. I don't know if it was buggy or what, but I shot 1 or 2 scavs that had Untar vests on and didn't progress. So I don't know if that was bugged or if they were just scavs that were in the same area that happened to have an Untar vest on, and so they didn't count. But I did get 1 killed, and that's all it took. Once I killed him, it progressed for me down in the bottom right. You'll see a little ding, and then you just get out of raid. Even if you die, you're fine. But there's no reason to hang around because a lot of people are going to be looking for these. I shot 1 and ran off. Now, after completing this for skier obstacle course, you get Radio Club. Now, Radio Club is going to require you to go to woods and the mountain area, all 3 of these things, and plant repeaters. If you've done Lightkeeper, these are familiar to you. If you haven't, these might kind of look new. They're little radios you've got to plant. Skier is going to give you 3 of them, but the quest also unlocks a craft. I've got something crafted, so I can't show you exactly what it is, but there's 2 of them here, right? There's this one, which is the one you get from Lightkeeper, or Mechanic when you're doing the Lightkeeper task, and then you get another one for this task specifically. The big difference is one's a half hour versus one's being an hour and a half. So if you do die and lose them, you can get more, but you have to craft them. It's going to take you half hour, so that's going to eat up some time. Now, for me, I have a Kappa, so what I did was I took everything out so I could fit 2 of them in my Kappa, and I put 1 in my bag, which was kind of a risk, and just hope for the best that I could get them all planted. If you don't have that, but you have an Epsilon, even if it's hanging out in your stash, this is a 2x4, so you can fit 2 of those in here and not have to worry about dying with them. So I suggest doing that. If you're really not sure, you're not confident in your ability to get through this task without dying, I would highly suggest only bringing as many as you can fit in your secure container. Maybe start a craft when you go on your first raid, just as it is, because it's not super expensive, and that way you have 1 anyways. You can sell it later if you need to. So planting all 3 of these is all around the mountain, so it's pretty straightforward, though it is a pretty bad choke point, and there's a lot of traffic around here. So it's gonna be a fight unless you get one of the really close spawns. You can get there right away. For me, I was using SJ6s to sprint here as fast as I could and get them planted. The first one is going to be up on top. So this is by there's a loot box up here, a toolbox, and a tech supply crate. You got to plant it on the boxes next to the tech supply crate. After that, the other one is down where the old Red Rebel extract used to be, down here. Now this one is pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. There's other tasks you do down here as well, but those 2 are the pretty straightforward and easy ones. The third one is the hard one because you're walking into a dead end. It's up on top where the bunker where the sniper scav is. Now, the biggest thing about getting up here is if there's somebody up here waiting for you, you're kind of screwed. It's impossible to push into them. Plus, once you get up here, you might get stuck up here because there's somebody else trying to get up there as well. Just keep all that in mind. And then once all those are planted, you also have to kill 8 scavs, as well as get a survive and extract from the raid. So you get that all done and you move on to the next one. But let's go back and talk about Peacekeeper real quick for the guys that have to do that. Once you complete obstruction destruction for Peacekeeper, you get the task A New Hope. This one requires you to find a laptop on shoreline at the new area, the farm, I think is what it's called. So on the maps, that's going to be up here. It's the new compound they just added. Now, once you're up there, the wiki has 4 slots labeled here at the various places around. This is in the lower building, the farthest south, or it's not south, is that north? I forget how shoreline works. I think it's south. The farthest south building, out in a chair. And then the next one is going to be outside that building, also on the south side. This is kind of those connexes on the south side of the wall, like right up here above is where that AGS is at, or I guess it's over here. But you'll see this green laptop on this pile of wood underneath the stairs on the red connex. After that, this is going to be inside the building on the far west side, between the 2 chairs and the chair and the couch, and then one inside the yellow van outside the back door. Now, there might be more spawns of this. This has been kind of the case with some of these. They get a couple of them on the wiki, but there might be more there. If it's not here, it doesn't mean you didn't spawn with it. It just means it's somewhere else that didn't show up on the map. So just kind of look around and try to find that green laptop. You're going to have to look everywhere, but keep in mind it's going to be put into places similar to this where it's going to be kind of hidden a little bit. Once you get that, you turn the laptop into Peacekeeper and you move on to Liaison for there. Now, Liaison, it's an extra step. You have to locate the specified zone of customs. You have to stash a physical Bitcoin and then a signal flare, right? So you need to go into raid with a Bitcoin, which keep your secure container, and go into the yellow flare like we talked about some previous ones. Make sure you bring more than one, though this one's a little bit harder to screw up than the one on reserve. You're going to go to, it's called the weather station. I didn't know that's what this was called. I guess we have a new call out now that we know it's the weather station, but this is new gas and the military checkpoint up on the hill there where kind of that power line is and some of the other stuff, this little compound. That's the weather station. So once there, you're going to go to the metal shack. You're going to stash the Bitcoin inside there. There's like a medical crate and stuff. And then you need to shoot a yellow flare into the sky while you're in the area of the weather station. It has to get pretty high, so make sure you shoot it up as straight as you can. But keep in mind, when you're pointing the flare, it doesn't shoot where you're pointing. It shoots probably 20 or 30 degrees higher than where you're aiming. So aim 3/4 of the way up from vertical and you'll be pretty good. And like the other one, you got to survive and extract, and you are on to Ceasefire. Everybody comes together here for Ceasefire. That is now with Fence. That is where the quest line is going to go, whether you were Peacekeeper or Skier. They both converge back on Fence. Now, this one is going to be one of the more annoying ones. The only one that I think took more time for most people is finding the thumb drives. But you're going to have to go back to Shoreline, and you need to go to the village that is on the southwest side of the map. So all the way over here, you're going to go over to this village area. Now, there are 5 houses that this can be in, and they're laid out right here, and the zoom in of the map. This map is on the wiki. Again, go check that out if you need these maps. This house, this house, this house, this house, this house. This house isn't super helpful, right? But they're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because it shows you specifically on here in the wiki where you can find those. House number 1, it's on the nightstand underneath in the little cubby. House number 2, it's on the windowsill. House number 3, this is where I actually found mine. It's on the side of the cushion of the couch. House number 4, it is underneath the book. And then number 5, it is right underneath the broken TV. So if you're trying to stumble your way around, make sure you pull this map up so you can find which house you're looking in. You check those 5 houses. That's where it should be, though they could add more. All right, so for you guys that are want more specific guides here, because this one is kind of a pain in the ass, I hopped in an offline raid. We're going to show you guys exactly where this is. I'm on the tank at the village. That's the extract right over there. Scav Island's over there. That way is path to Shoreline, right? So here's the tank. Now, this is technically house number 2. House number 1 is going to be behind this. So let's go over there real quick. I'm going to run over and show you how to get to the house, because sometimes these houses can be weird to get around. You can just hop over the fence right there, or you have to go around and go through and come in right here. This is going to be house number 1. So from here, you're going to go inside house number 1, and you're just going to go right upstairs. Now, I can't show you this because I've already got it done, but this is where it's going to be, is right on this bed. So you can see here, here's the picture. There is the picture from the wiki of somebody finding the item right there. So it's going to be right there. It should be for you. If it's not there, go to house number 2. So we'll go to house number 2, which is going to be the next one right here. Going to take a quick shortcut over the fence. Hopefully I don't get too hung up here. And inside house number 2, we will find the next location. This one's going to be on the windowsill. So you're going to come and look for the bed, tipped over couch. So you see this bed and tipped over couch. It's going to be right here on this windowsill, kind of behind the curtain. So there's the front door. You come in and go to the right. And that's house number 2. If it's not there, let's go to house number 3. Number 3 is on the outside. We're going to run out and go across. We'll do some magic editing and just cut to it till I get closer. Now, this is actually where I found mine. So what you're looking for is this green truck, right? Red shed car. You're going to come in right here to house number 3. Got this kind of glass door thingy. Open up. And it's going to be right here on this couch. Right there on the corner. Little bit of bonus content that if you didn't know, inside this house there's a little deal. I don't know the total story behind this, but it's always been here. But this is like a weird upside down room with a chair on the ceiling. Never did have heard an explanation for it, but just something funny if you want to see it for yourself. All right, now we're gonna go to house number 4, which is right over here. Okay, so that's house number 3. There's your green truck. You're gonna keep going east. House number 4 is this kind of barn looking one. We're gonna go upstairs into that one, and that is where the next location is for the note. It is it's under a book on a table. So just come inside, go right up the stairs. It's the only place you need to go, and it's going to be right here underneath this book, as we'll show right here in the picture. I don't know if I showed you the picture for the last one, but there it is for that one. Here's the picture for spawn house for number 4. Now number 5 is going to be under a TV. You can see right there. We're going to go find that. It's really close. House number 5 is right outside. We'll go back out to the main road so you can see it. Over the fence, maybe not. There we go. Okay, so house number 5 is gonna be this guy right here. So this is kind of where the road comes and does an L. Grandma's house, or whatever you want to call it's up there. Or the cottages. I don't know if people call it grandma's house, but come inside. House with the white car. Garage is open. You can go in the other side too. The other door's open. Once you're inside, the note should be right here on this little shelf, as shown on the picture right here. Now, keep in mind when you're done here, path to lighthouse is always open for everybody. So even if you spawned on this side, you can run right up there and get out. Otherwise, you have tunnel and path to lighthouse if you spawn on the other side of the map to get out over here. So just a quick extract with the letter, and you turn it into Ceasefire 4 fence, and you're done. So once you're done, we go on to Ceasefire Part 2, again with fence. This one's pretty straightforward. If you're on skier, you're going to need to kill 5 scavs, or 5 targets. It can be players or scavs. On customs, you have to be wearing a blueberry hat or blueberry helmet, armor, and then have an M4. The M4 can be fully modified. The only hang up is you got to have one of these 2 pieces. If you are on the Peacekeeper side of things, you need to wear a 6B47 Ratnik helmet, as well as a NPP Chaos Krun body armor, digital floor. It has to be the digital floor of the green one. Do not wear the black one. It'll only work with the green one. And then an AK-74N. Again, you can have it modified however you want. Also, you have to be on shoreline for Peacekeeper. You're going to shoreline, not custom. So don't make that mistake. I almost did. Once you get those kills, turn in the quest, and then you're on to the next thing, which is trade embargo. Now this one's pretty straightforward and simple. I fucked it up on purpose just to show you guys. You can see, but you have to sell 15 barter items to fence. So for your 15 items, this can be anything that is a barter item. And there's a couple of ways you can look at this, right? So for example, these, if you double click on an item in the top left, it tells you what it is. These are info items, right? SSD drives, that kind of stuff. Barter items will actually say barter item. They do have a underline kind of a lower folder they fit into, and this is how it kind of sits in the flea market. So if you come to the flea market and click on barter items, everything underneath here is a barter item. So if you need to buy stuff, like if you don't have barter items to sell, you can just come in here and click on barter items, right? No filters, anything else. And then just buy 15 of the cheapest things in here and then sell those back to fence. But most of us are going to have junk in our junk box. You can sell things to fence and be done with it. As long as they are barter items, get 15. Now the deal is you can't sell anything to Peacekeeper or Skier. If you do that, you will fail this. That's what I did just to test it out. If you fail it, you're given a second chance. You got to go, you got to go into raid, you got to do another raid, and then he gives you the quest to make up for it. He calls you an idiot. It's all kind of funny, but at the end of the day, you have to turn in 50 at that point if you fail the quest and you fuck it up. So don't do that, because 50 is a lot worse than 15. And that's where this embargo last chance is, 50 barter items, blah, 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 blah. Now, I don't know what happens if you fail this again, but I wouldn't test it out because it'll probably cost you all of the work you've done to get to this point. So don't fail again if you do on accident like I did. Well, I didn't fail on accident, but don't fail on accident or fuck around with this, because you might end up losing your stuff. But you go from here to Atonement, again, for split quests. For skier or peacekeeper, you're going to go 2 different lines, right? So for skier, you're headed back to customs. You've got to kill 5 scavs, and then you've got to go to the roof of 3-story dorms. Now, there's an interesting bit here we'll get into in a second, but I want to talk about the peacekeeper side first. Peacekeeper is the flip side of that. 5 kills on shoreline, and you have to reach the east wing of the health resort on shoreline. So it's pretty much just the east wing, the entire area, right? And then you're good. Now, that's it for this quest. But as of me doing this, you could technically do the next step of this during this task. So let's talk about that. It's going to be redemption for these guys. And this is where you've got to pick up the unheard phone, either on customs or shoreline. Now on customs, this unheard phone is going to be on the roof. It can be in a couple of different spawns, and I'll show you those in raid here. I can show you where I found mine twice, because I had to go get it twice, and we'll explain that a little bit later. But this is where they can be. So you come to customs, you get to 3-story dorms, and we're headed up to the roof up there. So we'll cut to it real quick, get upstairs, come outside, and this is going to be where the phones are going to be at. So one spawn is right here. The next spawn is going to be on the railing right there. And then you have 2 more over here. One is on the backside. Be careful on here so you don't hop off the roof, but one's going to be on the pallet right there. And then the other one is behind this gray box right here. And those are your phone spawns, at least the ones we know about for now. Now, like I said, you can do this at the same time as the previous task, or you can leave raid and come back and do it. It's up to you. But we'll hop over to Shoreline and show you guys those spawns. Okay, so for the Peacekeeper side, you're going to come to the east wing of Shoreline Resort. So there's admin, there's west wing, or east wing. I just came up the metal stairs. You can also come up that area right there. So the laptop's only in a couple of places that are pretty close. It's going to be right here where I just came around. There's the stairs right here, this kind of tilted out box. It'll be on the ground. The other place it can be is inside this broken crate right there. And then after that's going to be on 2 different sides. It'll be, I thought I was going to hop over that, sorry. It'll be right here, hiding behind this box where you can't quite see it from the door. And the other one is hiding over here. So it'll be up behind, down on the ground. There's the door, so right there. So there, that crate, and then the broken crate right there is your 4 spots for the laptop. All right, so now that you have your laptop or your phone, you can, and just hang on a sec, don't do it right away. You can turn this into fence and you're done. You get your special item, you get the rewards, everything is hunky-dory. You finish the quest, you get your achievement, which the achievement will be based off a skier or peacekeeper, whichever one you do, that's what you'll get. Now, if you have Lightkeeper unlocked, you have a third option here. You can actually give these to Lightkeeper. And this is the part that I got hung up and got bugged out on. When you complete Atonement, regardless of who it does, it's going to unlock ding, ding, ding for you, which is the Lightkeeper task. Now, the problem is there's some bugginess with this task showing up at Lightkeeper. The fix seems to be simply either logging out or running another raid before you go to Lightkeeper. There's people that have had this, there's people that have not. I did have it. I got the phone, I ran out to Lightkeeper, I didn't have it available. I went through a bunch of hoops. I ended up dying on purpose to get the phone and then go back and get the phone again and then run out to Lightkeeper, and it was there. On top of that, you also need to sell 5 weapons. So if you're doing the Lightkeeper side, once you get this done, you have to sell 5 weapons to Skier, and you have to sell 5 weapons to Peacekeeper. And this, you have to do this before you hand the phone over. So what I would do is, once you get the phone, take it out of your stash, or the laptop, take it out of your stash, run out to the lighthouse, get the quest, come back, sell your 5 weapons, then you have to go out to the lighthouse again with the phone. That way you don't have to worry about dying or losing it, because if you die and lose it, you got to go get it again and take it out there. You don't like permanently fail a task, but you're going to need to go get the phone or the laptop again. And Lightkeeper is, like I said, that's the way I did. It gave me the Cardinal Riculu. I don't know how to say that, which is pretty rare achievement. It's going to be rarer than the others because obviously fewer people have Lightkeeper and did the task that way. But that's your 3 choices. I guess you only have 2, depend whether you went Peacekeeper or Skier, which we didn't know back then was going to matter. But that's where your achievements and the rewards, you get a LEDX, you get 10 SJ6s, a ton of experience, money, all that kind of good stuff. And then, very important, if you oh yeah, you also get this amulet, right? Which this amulet, if you're wondering, basically it makes it to where cultists will not attack you unless you attack them. So this could help you with cultist hunting if that's what you're interested in. It goes in your special slots so you don't lose it when you die. All that kind of good stuff. But your Kerman, the little hideout, I don't know if this is actually the hideout cat. I don't know if this is what they meant. Kind of a troll if that, when they said we're gonna get a hideout cat, this is what they meant. But you get a Kerman holographic cat face thingy. So it goes in your Hall of Fame. It's a trophy. You can see it right there kind of, but here's mine. This Kerman trophy, you get this, but you do not get this from Lightkeeper. Once you accept the Lightkeeper task, you will fail the fence task, regardless of who it is. You'll fail it, and then you'll have to get this from your messages from fence. So right here, he says, I heard the customer got the phone directly. Don't expect that to happen again. I don't like being made a fool of. In any case, I do have something for you. You accept this and it gives you your Kerman cat. So it's going to come from different places. You're going to have your Lightkeeper rewards, which he obviously hands to you in raid. But you need to go to fence to get that reward if you fail the task. But that's it. That gets you guys finished. I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys can get through this. Remember, it's not that hard. It's just a little bit of time consuming. This is one of the easier kind of tasks that BSG has done like these, and I'm grateful they did that. I don't like when they make special events like this that only like 1% of the player base can get done. So you should have a pretty good chance of going at this. I highly recommend it. This cat thing will never go away. It doesn't disappear on wipe. You keep it forever. Same thing with the achievements. So it's gonna be tied to your account for as long as Tarkov exists, for however long that may be. So good luck out there. I wish you guys the best of luck in getting this done. I ain't got anything else for you, so we'll wrap her up. And I've already kind of screwed up my sign off, but I guess we'll see you in Tarkov.